Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the top of some buildings. We're here on Nuco Precinct TE. Going to be seeing a TvZ today with a couple of interesting names, of course, famous for, well, couple of different reasons here. We'll see how they go. Starting down at the bottom left-hand side as our Red Terran player. He is in the Love Your Girlfriend team, if I remember the name correctly. As you can see here, the LYGF. It is HTOMario. We all know Mario as a player who loves a bit of mech, and as one of the few Terran players who still consistently uses mech on a regular basis, even against Protoss. If you jump onto his stream, you can see some VODs there, or even if you catch him live playing against some Protoss players using a little bit of mech there, which is something that is quite rare. And of course, you know, does it against Zerg, does it against Terran as well. Of course, in TvT, sorry, mech is pretty much the be-all and end-all when it comes to the best strategies you can utilize in that matchup. But his opponent will be a Zerg across to the bottom right-hand side as our Zerg player in the clan TOKEUP. It is Whiplash. Now, I do believe this is our resident Pro League caster doing an excellent job over in Korea, bringing us some Pro League action in English. If you're not that good at a little bit of Korean, he is there to provide you with Supernova Maniac, a little bit of English streaming for the Pro League seasons as they go on, and well, as we can see, playing a little bit of Zerg today, and we'll see how it goes. This is, I believe this was on the European server. Actually, it could have been on the, American. I forgot to actually double check that, but yeah, of course, both these guys are, they actually like to play on a couple of various servers, so it's good to see them fighting here, and we'll see how they go. Mario is going to start us out with a normal sort of racks first. It looks like it is going to be into a command center. We don't have any gases just as of yet. Now, while we wait for the game to sort of kick up, as we can see, we've got Whiplash with a hatch into pool. Nothing too crazy coming out of him just yet. But while we wait for the game to sort of kick into gear, of course, big thanks to everyone who tuned into the DreamHack Valencia stream that I was bringing to you guys on the weekend of the 20th of July, I believe. That was the date. I can't actually remember exactly, but the weekend of the 20th of July, it was a lot of fun. Got to see some really cool games. I am going to actually, by the time this replay goes up, they should be all cut up and highlighted and on YouTube. So please do go through all of those if you didn't actually catch some of them. Some of the really great games included Elfie. I really liked some of Elfie's play during DreamHack, and of course he actually did really well to end up in the top 16, I believe was his final placement. So I was really impressed with Elfie. Of course, we got to cast some Jadon, got to cast, also there was a little bit of Kaldi, the Icelandic Zerg player who was doing really well in his first couple of games. So it was a really good event. And as I said, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to everyone who said hi in the chat and came in and, you know, watched the stream for quite a while. I know there was quite a lot of you from, especially the Europeans, were just coming in and saying hello and just sort of checking out what was going on, so it was really cool. Over the next couple of weeks, of course, I am like a little bit busy IRL with my real life slave labor job, but it's not really, but it is going to take up a little bit of time over the next little bit of, particularly the next few weeks. So I am going to try and keep up with the casting as much as I can, but if there's a little bit of a delay, I do apologize, but we'll do our best. So make sure you do stay tuned to facebook.com/duckfield.casting, and you can see I'll keep everybody up to date on there as one of the best avenues to keep up with what I am up to. Meanwhile, let's talk about this game. Whiplash has got out a couple of queens. We can see that he is now up to a total of 4, taking his gas down at the natural, and it looks as if he's just happy to drone up. He has scouted out that his opponent, well, actually, okay, I thought he had scouted it, but it looks as if he has just sort of is keeping an eye on the front door. We'll obviously be aware of when some of those Hellions start to come out, which looks like we are going to transition into. Meanwhile, for Mario, we'll see exactly what he's going to do. As I said, a very, very prominent mech player in the Terran scene, and it is very often to see him go down that particular path, much like FXO Strelog, not necessarily I don't want to say diverse because it sort of sounds like Mario doesn't play bio at all and can't play bio. But I mean, you know, Strelic is a player who will bring out mech every now and then, but also does quite a lot of bio as well. So, but you know, similar sort of vein in that when they bring out their mech, they're just damn good Terran players. So we can see now Mario going to head out with a couple of Hellions, wants to pressure with those guys who will get started with a medevac. It looks as if the Hellions, or actually, I'm not sure. The Banshee change, of course, a lot of people will be aware that Banshee Cloak has been cheapened, or it costs a little bit less if you want to get technical. So some players have been experimenting with a little bit of Cloak Banshee play, just seeing how it works. Is it similar to how it worked in Wings of Liberty, or is it you know, is it a little bit not as effective? Personally, I don't think it's as effective as it was back in those days, but you know, we'll see how much can be done here. It looks like Mario is going to make his way inside the main base, actually able to get all the way in relatively undisturbed there, and he is going to make his way through. It looks like the Hellion's going to take a little bit of fire, but the drones are going to be safe for the moment. Hellion's trying to find out where are those drones. There they are, going to try and chase after them right now. Looks as if some of the drones trying to split up as best as they can. Whiplash dropping off a couple of drones to try and pick off some of the Hellions, but they do grab a couple of kills there. We can see the worker tally has been reduced by a slight amount, but Whiplash is still doing okay. The one thing which I was a little bit curious about is the positioning of these Evo chambers. You normally would see them just sort of just slightly to the left there. You can see that second square is beautiful. Look at that. But anyway, you normally see them a little bit across to the side, so they make a little bit more of a wall off, but we'll see. As he's going to counter-attack, a lot of Lings were built to try and deal with those Hellions. Normally would see quite a lot of Lings around about the 7-minute mark when those Hellions are first scheduled to come out. That's the normal sort of time for that. But we can now see that Mario's going to head inside the main base. Spore Crawler will go down there. However, the mines are going to drop in. They're going to say hello to the drones. Will they be able to get anything done? It looks like it is going to be a no. Picks up some of the Widow mines and does retreat. Doesn't get any shots off, but we'll see if he's able to maybe get another shot going here. A couple of drones will return to the line. He's going to lift up and get the mines out of there. I would like to see Mario maybe try and kill off this Overlord. This is actually really low. I don't have the health bars on. I don't know why the health bars are turned off right now. But anyway, we can see now that all Mario's going to do with these now is just control a little bit of space. Block off a potential 4th base here. He doesn't actually know that the 3rd is all the way up at the top side there. But back at home, got a couple of extra command centers on the way, 2 in fact, along with a few more factories as we do move into that mech play that Mario is so confident with. We can see an eBay now on the way just to make sure he does have the option of getting a couple of turrets up as needed. Meanwhile, the last Widow mine, it looks like it is going to head up towards the top side here to control this space, and there's a drone there that was coming across. It looks as if the drone might go down as the Widow mine is about to activate. There it is. Bam. Goodbye, drone. And that's going to be a little bit annoying for Whiplash here, but I mean, he's up to 74 drones. He's looking pretty decent here when it comes to economy. The one thing which we are sort of carefully keeping an eye on is how is he going to maneuver from here? Does he know that Mario is a little bit of a mech player, and B, how is he going to deal with it once he does find that out? But it is interesting to see how Mario is expanding. Very aggressive expansions here, looking to move through the middle section. As you can see, some Lings going to land, or sorry, going to try and block that landing here, while the 3rd base has already planted there at the just that inner pocket base for Mario. But this base up towards the 4th middle section here is not going to land. Too many Lings here at the moment. Looks like we'll have to get a couple of Hellbats out to try and deal with that. Here they come. Blue Flame is active, and that means that these guys will roast up all of those Lings very quickly, and Mario is free to take a very, very fast 4th base. So we'll see what his transition is from here, because of course, you know, here we go, the Hellbats being surrounded on all sides. Despite a little bit of micro there, it looks as if Mario will be forced to lift that base up again. Whiplash just denying his opponent the ability to pick up those expansions right now. It's a very daring expansion to take this 4th over here. Like, regardless of the timing, it is still in a very exposed position. We can see there are lots of avenues of attack across here, and you know, if mutas come into play, we can see that there is a lot of space behind the back of the mineral line there. So Whiplash has bought himself some time. He has established a 4th base, is about to finish up. Macro Hatch inside the main. The Hive is also done, and we can see that he's now going to transition straight into the Greater Spire here. Not going to waste any time. Going to bring up some Corruptors. 2-2 for the ground units is also just about to complete, along with Burrow. So he is going to have a very interesting composition here, and we'll talk about why in a minute, because, well, Mech doesn't actually do very well at all against Swarm Host and Viper play. That's a really big component of how Zerg players have really started to dominate against Terran players. Is that they can go into Vipers, get them Blinding Cloud, maybe even an Abduct or two, but generally it's just Blinding Cloud, and then you can utilize Swarm Host, be very mobile with the Swarm Host. I think is a very key aspect of beating a Mech Terran player. You need to sort of roam around, like, you know, come up to a position like up in here, send across some of the Swarm Hosts to attack the base, and then head back out so that you don't actually lose any of the Swarm Hosts, because they are very expensive, they're very valuable kind of units, so it is important to have that. But as we said, it is interesting to see that the 3-3 has now gotten started, and, you know, I'm interested to see how Whiplash is going to maneuver this, because it looks as if he is just going to go straight into Broodlords, and, you know, Broodlords can also still be a powerful kind of weapon against the mech composition, but the problem that you can have is that Terran players have now been getting out a couple of Thors. It's very dependent on how the Terran plays. A lot of players like to go up into a sort of medium to high Thor count. The other thing that can really catch players out is Widow Mines. With correct control of Widow Mines, you can actually really smash apart air units very quickly with Terran mech. It's quite intriguing to watch how that works. But Mario going to have a little bit of trouble here at his 4th base. Of course, his 5th across to the left-hand side has also been established. The Link's forced off the line by those Hellbats. The medevac just going through the top section here wants to get some harassment going. No real availability to harass any drones here, although a couple have come across and are going to get burnt away. There we go, just the one for the moment. And Mario we'll find out. His opponent now has those Broodlords coming in. Starports are prepared already, though, so Vikings now starting to come out. Even a Raven or two is going to be added on. His +2 to weapons is also about to kick in. Now, we can see that the Broodlords do an excellent job against most of the units on the ground, but if those Thors were to switch into their high-impact payload mode, they do the bonus damage against those massive air units. And for the moment, it looks as if Mario is going to be forced back. The Queen's really helping out. Clever usage of those Queens there from Whiplash, but as we can see, the mech army is slowly going to be whittled down. The Corruptors coming across, trying to force back the Vikings to make sure that they cannot participate in the fight to deal with those Broodlords. Those Hellbats are still roaming around doing all sorts of wacky things across there, but Mario is going to lose his base. He's going to have to, well, lift it up, but then the Corruptors are going to have fun with it, so he is going to definitely lose his command center. Luckily for him, he does have the 4th up in the middle section here, the 5th up towards the top left-hand side, also active and ready to go. The Broodlords will find that base though, and they are going to try and siege that one up. The Planetary Fortress will stay alive for quite a while the SCVs repair it, I would presume. Now, what we would like to see here from Whiplash is taking a couple more bases. He needs to secure this extra income and production capability so that he can keep up with the efficiency of mech. Of course, that's the big thing, is that playing a mech Terran is a lot like playing as a Protoss player. You have very efficient units and very powerful units, but you know, if you can somehow get a crushing blow against the Zerg army, then you can just start to roll across the map, and it can just sort of snowball out of control here. So Whiplash has done a good job of blocking off the base up towards the top left-hand side. The Vikings spreading a little bit after some fungal growth does go down. Infested Terrans popping out. The Corruptors will continue to come across and support those Broodlords, but the Broodlord count has been reduced to just a lowly 1. And with a couple of transfuses, it looks like this guy is going to stay alive. Well done by Whiplash to keep that one Broodlord alive. He will need to bring in some more, though. We will need to see some more Infestors. This kind of composition, as we said, is not the most optimal kind of way to deal with a mech player, as the Viking count starts to increase. Mario going to add a lot of Hellbats on the ground to make sure that he can deal with Ling counterattacks onto Thors and things like that. And as we said, if the Thor count starts to increase, which it looks like it is going to, with you know, double production of Thor starting to come out, Mario would love to have a couple more factories available, but unfortunately he's just sort of had to rejig everything to get everything prepared for the Broodlord play. So Whiplash currently comfortable, 70 drones out for him right now. He has lost a total of 37 due to some of those various attacks that came across from HTOMario, but he has secured this inner base here. Would love to see that extra gas coming in. It's exactly what he's going for now. And, you know, Whiplash is going to continue on with this kind of strategy. He'll be, as I said, very intrigued to see how this plays out. I haven't really seen anyone go down this particular path against mech for well, I suppose quite a long time, just due to the fact that Broodlord Infestor play was slightly cut out due to the changes in Heart of the Swarm, with Fungal being nerfed a bit, with things like, you know, the Thors, and even like, as we said, Widow Mines, Thors, all these kinds of things can really put quite a crimper in your day here if you do go for this air kind of style. So Whiplash needs to be careful, as we said, needs to be very methodical with how he approaches this, and we would love to see some more Infestors out to make sure that he can keep that count up. But he is going for a lot of Queens to make sure that he has those transfusers. The SCV count for HTOMario has now boosted up to a total of 74, so he has a wonderful economy behind all of this, and as we can see, the Thor's starting to come through. Their splash damage on the Corruptors is also very powerful. Do not underestimate that. If they get a couple of good shots off, these Corruptors will go down very quickly. The Broodlords moving into position here. Hellbats soaking up some of the damage. The Infestors coming in from the side. Not too much energy available on them. A few Infested Terrans will go down to try and help out. The Corruptors coming along, and a Hunter Seeker missile comes across, tries to deal with the Broodlord, but it is already taken out. And Whiplash has lost just about everything. That is, wow, that is a really one-sided battle there. Mario with his Hellbats on the ground protecting the Thors and everything from the Broodlings, and then, as we can see, with the HIP mode active, the Punisher cannons, 30 damage against those air units. So, you know, they are pretty damn good, and I mean, it's quite a powerful asset to have in the army there. And as I'm sure a lot of people who play Thors or even mono battles will know, is that when a lot of Thors get out, it's very hard to stop them. If the player is good with their control, they have maybe some protection. As we can see, Mario's going to utilize some of these Hellbats. But if you have some protection, then those Thors can just rip apart anything. So we can see now that Whiplash are going to add in some more Broodlords. I believe that was 8 more just morphed in. As you can see, the total now is going to rise up to around about 12. So he's going to be in a very strong position here with his anti-ground. But, you know, the question is he going to be able to keep up with the production and these kinds of things? Because now Mario is starting to really ramp up his production. We've got Ravens now coming out. We can see the armory spinning up, just finishing up that +1 to ship plating. The 4 factories still continue to just you know, continuously smash out all of those big mech units, the Thors and the Hellbats now coming into play. And with the additional Ravens that are now being added in, that's going to add quite a nice little bit of anti-air as well. Not direct anti-air in terms of destroying units or anything like that, but it helps out with point defense drones, Hunter Seeker missiles, all these kinds of things that can really help out in these battles. So we can see now a second armory also on the way. A little bit interesting to see that. We may see a transition into battle cruisers very soon from Mario, as I would presume that he's getting the second armory just because he wants to be able to grab that the ship weapons as quickly as he can, as he slowly transitions into what may be a little bit more of a powerful air army consisting of battle cruisers, Vikings, and also Ravens. Of course, the big thing here is how is Whiplash going to approach this, because there are now a lot of Vikings out, 8 Vikings. We've got a lot of Ravens as well. They're point defense drones. The Thors now coming across. The Corruptors trying to move into position to come along and deal some damage here. You know, Mario has an interesting mixture just because of the fact that he does have the Thors, but now we can see Hunter Seeker missiles coming across, blasting apart some of the Queens, and of course those Broodlords as well. Point defense drones, where are they? We don't actually see any point defense drones, so the Viking army has been annihilated straight away by all those Corruptors. Transfusers from Whiplash trying to keep the Broodlords alive, but the Thors just do so much damage, and the Broodlords are slowly going down. I'm trying to keep the health bars on. Sorry guys, I don't even know why health bars aren't actually on properly, but we can see that Whiplash is slowly starting to lose some of those Broodlords up there. The Thors are being repaired by the SCVs as best as they can, but more Broodlords morphing into the back. But now Mario has so much income coming through that he is just able to continually get all of those Thors down. What I would love to see from Mario, though, is a little bit more of an addition of those factories. I'm a little bit surprised that he's stuck on 4 factories for so long. But as you can see, those Thors, they're 1, 3 active, almost 2, 3 right now, is a very powerful force coming out. And, well, I mean, Whiplash, he's started to chip back at that. He's got more Broodlords out. The command center here is going to go down in a second, but again, we're still waiting on a little bit more sort of production. I would even say build some, you know, extra macro hatcheries if you can, because, I mean, at the moment, Whiplash starting to dry up on some of his minerals. We're barely mining at this stage, as our Blue Zerg, as we can see right now, is sitting on 700 minerals coming in. That's practically nothing at this stage of the game when you need to be bringing in at least 1,500, maybe even 2,000, probably even more than that per minute. And Whiplash may suffer from this just because of the fact he's got lots of gas, but no money, no minerals coming in. And, you know, Mario has got these very efficient units here. The Thors, as we said, very powerful units. And added in with some Hellbat support, these guys are not going to die quickly. So Whiplash is, he needs to be careful with it, with a little bit of economic management right here. We can see he is going to add in Neuroparasite, a very useful addition here to make sure that he can control some of those Thors. But as we can see, orbital commands all over the place for Mario right now. He has just got, you know, a wealth behind him that is just insurmountable right now. Around about 1,900 minerals coming in, as we can see down in the bottom right there. So he is looking very good, but I mean, Whiplash is chipping away. It's sort of it's an interesting position. It's kind of like saying this is a little bit of an all-in a way, because Whiplash has got these really strong units here. Lots of Broodlords, quite a decent amount of Corruptors also out. A few Infestors down at the back. Random Roaches also thrown in. But behind this, his economy is going to be struggling. But now he's added in 8 more Infestors. This is what we wanted to see. This allows him quite a lot of control. It allows him to throw out the neural parasites on these Thors. It allows some fungal growth on top of those Hellbats as well. And as we can see, Whiplash is starting to control a lot of the space, but now the Ravens will come out. We can see the Thors also moving into position. Hunter Seeker missiles from our Terran player. Wow, that is a lot of Hunter Seekers. They stream out there, blow up quite a lot of those Broodlords right now. And the SCV is coming along to repair up the Thors. Very nicely done by HTOMario, and it looks as if he is slowly tearing apart those Broodlords. The high-impact payload mode of those Thors, ripping apart those Broodlords. And as we can see, Whiplash now drops to 130 supply. How is he going to remax this? Because at the moment, we have Roaches coming out. Roaches, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, are not the greatest of units against a large contingent of Thors and also Hellbats. And we'll see what is going to happen here, because this could, you know, after all of this slow, methodical chipping away from Whiplash, this could end right here. This is what I was talking about earlier on, where a Terran mech player can start to spiral at, well, or can start to snowball, I should say, the other S word, start to snowball out of control here. But we'll see how Whiplash is going to deal with this. If he can get some good neuroparasites off, he may be able to counteract this force. But the Thors target down the Infestors. Wonderful play from HTOMario to target down the Infestors, give him back his Thors. He says he wants them back. He keeps them alive for the most part, destroy all the Infestors. Keep in mind, that is a very valuable part of Whiplash's army, and Whiplash taps out not enough power here from the Zerg player. As we said before, the economy was struggling a little bit there. We can see he has a massive gas bank, which is not what you always see in a Zerg player through this latter stage of the game. And it just sort of slowly but surely, Mario was able to get his economy up with, you know, 7 billion orbital commands around the map, taking a very early 4th base here in the middle, and he was just able to take control of the game there. And once the Thors got out into a critical mass, it started to turn the game around. So really interesting game there between these two players. Please do make sure you check them out on their individual streams and their Twitter accounts and all those cool things posted on earlier on in the game. Please be sure to leave some comments, say hello on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as well. Catch you all next time. Wall off there coming out from Blisk. He wants to make sure that he is all prepared for this. There is the +1 missile we mentioned before, and the Infestation Pit, Hydralisk Den, all going down. So it looks as if Patreus is getting prepared for a possible